And the Indiana Fever have pulled off the upset, the 6th seed, beating Vegas 89-73 to take Game 1.
Everyone said the Indiana Fever had no chance. ESPN analysts wrote them off. Oddsmakers laughed. Even the two-time defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces, expected a sweep. But on the night Aya Wilson was crowned MVP inside her own arena, in front of her own fans, the Fever shocked the basketball world by stealing Game 1. This wasn't just an upset. It was a statement. How does a team missing 6 players flip the script with a single win? And what did Caitlin Clark tell her teammates afterward that has people talking?
Particular matchup, Aces Fever Game 1. We're not deciding the whole series right now, just Game 1.
Should we do it together?
I think we should do it together.
Okay.
Because my spidey sense are telling me they might be the same. 3, 2, 1.
Aces.
They're not going to lose after she just won MVP.
Yeah, period.
There's no way.
No way.
Okay, I see
No
your
way.
From the start, this series was framed as a mismatch. ESPN panels predicted it would be short and predictable. Sportsbooks posted lopsided odds, easier to bet on Vegas' margin of victory than whether Indiana could win at all. The language around the matchup said it all. Headlines spoke of survival, not victory. The Aces were seen as inevitable. For Indiana, simply avoiding embarrassment would count as success.
Indiana Fever had no business winning a playoff series this year, had no business advancing to the semifinals for the first time in a decade, and yet here they are, eliminating the Atlanta Dream in Atlanta without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Sid Colson, without Erin McDonald, without Chloe Bibby. The hospital squad is on the bench, and yet the Indiana Fever are into the semifinals of the WNBA playoff.
And then came the injuries. Caitlin Clark sidelined. Sophie Cunningham out. Sydney Colson, Chloe Bibby, Ari McDonald, Dyrus Dantas, gone. 6 names in total. The Fever didn't look like a playoff roster. They looked like a team patched together with tape. Analysts didn't just label them underdogs. They said Indiana was lucky to even be standing there, as if their season had already expired.
And then the coaching of Stephanie White. She is working with a 9-woman rotation, and 5 of those players did not even touch the court the last time the Fever played the Dream during the regular season, and 3 of those players weren't even on the team. I cannot say it enough. The Indiana Fever should not be here. They continue to be here. They battle. They're resilient. It's wildly impressive. Caitlin Clark wore the black Air Force Ones again. They had one of those forces lifted in the air like a beacon of hope, and now they'll face the Ace.
Now picture the scene before tip-off. Championship banners hanging from the rafters. A sold-out crowd buzzing. At center court, Aya Wilson accepting her MVP trophy. That ceremony wasn't just about honoring her brilliance, it symbolized the story everyone expected, Vegas as the powerhouse, Indiana as the background act. The Fever players weren't just overlooked. They were invisible.
You actually just referenced it twice. It is Indiana. Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were at a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what? We'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business.
The flip, but sports thrive on the unexpected. History is filled with underdogs who weren't supposed to be there, teams counted out before a ball was tipped. On this night, Indiana followed that script. By the final buzzer, the storyline had cracked. Wilson's MVP spotlight dimmed because the Fever had stolen it. Indiana walked out of Las Vegas with an 89-73 victory, their first semifinal win in nearly 10 years. The basketball world stared in disbelief. And the real shock came not from the team as a whole, but from one player who refused to let the night belong to anyone else.
Respect everyone, fear no one. Woo! Thousand a chance. Dub.
That's one.
While all eyes were on Wilson's MVP celebration, Kelsey Mitchell turned the semifinal opener into her own stage. It was supposed to be Wilson's night. The defending champions taking care of business. The script already written. But Mitchell refused to let Indiana be a footnote. She has long been respected as an elite scorer, but often treated as an afterthought behind bigger names. Coming into the series, the conversation centered on Wilson's dominance, on Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray, on whether the Fever could even stay on the floor. Almost no one mentioned Mitchell as the player who could shift the matchup.
First semifinal appearance, just what's your emotional state right now?
Normal, I think. It's practice. Trying to prepare like anybody else would, like any other day. But keep the main thing. That's all you can do.
Mitchell didn't just score, she scored in every way possible. She hit mid-range pull-ups when defenders fought through screens. She drilled deep threes when the Aces gave her even a sliver of space. She attacked the rim with aggression. At the free throw line, she was perfect, 6 for 6. By the end of the night, 34 points. 12 of 23 from the field. 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. 6 for 6 at the stripe. Not just efficient. Relentless. Unstoppable.
That time, keeping the pivot foot alive and going strong side for Wilson.
Mitchell this time finds a lane to the basket. Inside to Turner. Nice look from Mitchell, which follows 5 Eastern time on ESPN. Mitchell. Lot of arc on that and a couple of bounces.
How do you feel about the performance, the urgency, and the response you had when they made a couple runs late?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, our group has seen it all. We wanted to come in and be the aggressor right away to make sure that we were dictating on the defensive end and we were dictating from a pace standpoint. They're champions for a reason. We knew that they were going to make runs. They made a big one in the third and we responded with a big one. I'm proud of our team. It's one game, it's a long series, so we got to keep the main thing, but to come in here and to be able to steal this one was big for us.
Championship teams respond to losses differently. The Aces have been here before. In past playoff runs, they've faced early setbacks and bounced back by making adjustments almost overnight. That's their advantage. They learn in hours what takes other teams weeks. They won't come out flat again. They'll come out swinging. Aya Wilson, in particular, will be hunting for redemption. She doesn't like being contained, and Las Vegas will make it a priority to put her in strong scoring positions from the jump. Jackie Young, who struggled under Lexi Hull's relentless defense, will look to get free on cuts, off screens, and in transition before the Fever can set their defense. And Becky Hammon has now seen what worked for Indiana in Game 1, which means the Aces will arrive with a very different game plan. That leaves one big question for the Fever: can they handle being the team in control? Winning as an underdog is one story. Following it up when the opponent throws everything at you is another. Can Kelsey Mitchell keep that same shooting rhythm once the doubles and traps come? Can Aaliyah Boston keep Wilson uncomfortable for a second straight game, or does Wilson finally break loose? These aren't small challenges. They're the test of whether Indiana can turn one upset into a true series fight.
We've got to keep the main thing, and that is us playing to a standard of basketball that we want to have as an Indiana Fever organization and franchise. We've got to keep our layers, the outside, the people in our building, and the people in our locker room. And the thing I'm just so proud of with this group is it doesn't matter who's on the floor, it doesn't matter who's on our roster. They give each other the freedom to be themselves. They empower one another to be themselves and to be the best version of themselves. And every time we've had a change, every time we've brought someone in, every time we've had rotational changes, they're for each other. They live the we over the me. And when you have that, it just gives you opportunities to do really special things.
This is where the idea of a championship moment comes into play. After success, the test isn't whether you celebrate, it's whether you rise again when challenged. If Indiana can find a way to take Game 2, they don't just keep momentum. They transform from upset artists into legitimate finals contenders. That first win wasn't just a playoff upset. It was Indiana reclaiming its belief, proving that "We Over Me" isn't just a slogan, it's their identity on the biggest stage. One fearless night, after a decade of waiting, showed exactly what this group is capable of. Coach Stephanie White put it simply: we take it one day at a time. We can't look too far ahead, because that's when you lose your focus. Game 2 is more than the next step. It's the moment where a single upset can turn into a historic run. The question now, can the Fever keep making history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.